wake up.
I'm so upset!
It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot
The
of
Lakers.
sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on! Murray makes a move. The Nuggets have won!
That they did, Kevin Harlan. That they did. Kevin Harlan, TNT, from last night in Denver, Colorado, as your defending NBA champion, Denver Nuggets. And I say your, meaning America's defending NBA champion. Denver Nuggets take out the Los Angeles Lakers 101-99. 20-point deficit in the third is nothing for Jokic, Murray, Michael Porter Jr. Doesn't matter. They are the bully of the Los Angeles Lakers. And until the Lakers learn how to punch back, a la George McFly and Back to the Future, they're going to continue to get bullied and pounded. That was an incredible game last night. That was a banner night in the NBA. Before that, and no, I'm not talking about Cavs Magic, but God love you if you watch that mess. Magic just can't shoot. Now, I'm actually more convinced that Clay might be going to Orlando and he's just going to get a bag because they just need anyone that can score out in Orlando. And I love Paolo. I love Franz Wagner. Brutal injury for Jalen Suggs. That guy just hasn't been healthy since coming out of Gonzaga and being a baller out in the Pacific Northwest. And it's tough when your body just won't allow you to do what you want to do. And that can go in any walk of life, but especially in sports and especially in the game of basketball, when your legs just give out on you like that. So brutal injury there. Magic are down 0-2, and still, the home team in the NBA playoffs has not lost. New York Knicks, Dante DiVincenzo, take over.
8 on the 24. DiVincenzo, corner to Brunson. Sidestep, three-pointer. Shot. It's good! Took the bounce and went in. 2-point game. Ball knocked loose. And Maxey gets knocked down. Hart takes it away. Out top to DiVincenzo. His shot won't go. Hartenstein the rebound. Hartenstein gets it out to Anunoby. DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds remaining.
Mike Breen on the call there for MSG Network as the New York freaking Knicks come all the way back. And I thought they were done after Maxey hit a clutch three-pointer there to take the lead for the Philadelphia 76ers after they were down for most of that fourth quarter late. Embiid playing on a bum leg, doing all that he can, but it wasn't enough. Knicks get the job done. They are now 2-0 in that series. 2-0. I had a little pause there. Heading back to Philadelphia. But I look up on my app and I'm listening to a bunch of different shows this morning as I do when I'm driving in over the bridge. And a big conversation has been about the physicality in the NBA playoffs and how the refs are allowing them to play. And many people don't know if that's a good thing, which is funny because we were talking about this the other week when Kyle Draper, who's the pre- and post-game host for the Sacramento Kings on NBC Sports California. We love Kyle Draper, friend of the station, friend of the Morning Roast. Also one of the great laughs in 95.7 The Game drop history. And I'm sure I'm going to be getting a lot of that around the station today. That's fine. I can take it. I'm a big boy. But he was talking about the physicality and how it's, ruining the product. But for the longest time, we've been asking for that as consumers because we're just so fed up with the offenses dominating the NBA. It's too much. You can't breathe on anyone or getting called a foul. Now, you can smack some people in the face and the refs will just call it marginal. And there's no foul call, and you can challenge it. Now, ideally, you would like a happy medium. And I'm not here to cape up for the officials or anything like that, or Adam Silver, the NBA. No, I don't get paid by them. I don't. We are the flagship of the Golden State Warriors. It is good when the Warriors play well. It's good when the Warriors win because it's great for revenue here at the station. But for the NBA product as a whole, I'm just a fan. And in a big game, and in big games, you just want the calls to get right regardless. I understand the flow of the game is important, and I thought the flow of both games, Knicks, Sixers, Lakers, Nuggets, was incredible. I mean, the shot making alone in that Lakers Nuggets game in the fourth quarter. I mean, LeBron James, damn near 40 years old. Guy's incredible. It's incredible. Nikola Jokic, bully ball. Anthony Davis, one of the great defenders of the last decade, couldn't do anything to stop him or Jamal Murray. When, of course, I'll play it again, and it's going to be played a lot at the station today probably. Jamal Murray with the shot of the year so far. The shot of the playoffs.
Murray makes a move. Goes on. The Nuggets have won!
I just didn't come away from that game or the Knicks game saying, oh man, they should have been calling more fouls. No, it's not my bag. After a game to just go outright and blame the officials. I heard Darvin Ham after the game last night, basically going at the officials, D'Angelo Russell. Fact of the matter is the Lakers had a 20-point lead in the third quarter. And they blew it. Why? And I'll tell you why. It's not the ref's fault. It's their own fault. And it's not because they got too tired. It's not because of the boneheadery of some of their turnovers in that fourth quarter and their stagnant offense. It's not even Darvin Ham. Some will say it's Darvin Ham, and do I think he's the greatest coach in the NBA? No, I do not. Do I think he is in over his head in some of these coaching matchups against Mike Malone, against Ty Lue, against guys like those who have won championships? Yes, I do. Although last year in the playoffs, we were giving him his flowers when he was going up against Steve Kerr, and many Warriors fans thought Steve Kerr's getting outcoached by Darvin Ham. Some call him Darvin Scam. But it's not any of those things. The Lakers psychologically are broken against the Denver Nuggets. They have not and will not recover until they get one win. And particularly on the road. Because they could win one of these next home games. Not a soul thinks they're winning this series. Unless they win in Denver. But the loss last night for Los Angeles, they might as well be down 3-0 now. I don't see this team winning 4 out of the next 5. I just don't. And what does that mean for LeBron James and his future in the NBA and his future on the Lakers? We'll see. That'll dominate the conversation like it always does. But 888-957-9570. Are you liking the physicality that the NBA is letting these guys play with now? I kind of am. I'm not mad at it. Again, should it be called like this throughout the regular season and they're kind of adjusting in the playoffs? That's how it always is. It's like that in every other sport. And you would hope in baseball, right? And I know it's not apples and oranges, but in baseball, you would think the strike zone tightens a little bit, right? That's conventional wisdom. Although Angel Hernandez would beg to differ. And who's my guy yesterday at the Yankees A's game?
Hunter Wendelstadt.
Sam, we'll get to this. We'll get to this at some point today. The funniest ejection in the history of ejections in professional sports may have occurred yesterday after one batter in the Yankees-A's game. A's, by the way, hit it. Let's go. That's a dub. And we're celebrating good times. And sell is spelled S-E-L-L. Celebrate. 2-0. Give it to me. Woo-hoo! That's it. There we go. We celebrate good times, Sammy.
That's celebrate S-E-L-L. That's a 4.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I stole it from Casey Pratt, but you know what? It's okay. We're all in this together like High School Musical. All right, thank you. You know what? It's all right. When I take jokes like that, if I don't know who the person is, I just say I took it from the internet. Usually that works.
That's where all jokes come from, basically.
Basically. Well, and I always find it funny when you have like a joke on like a meme or something like that, and everyone else says it. And it's like, oh, you copied so-and-so. It's like, wow. You know, a billion other people may have had the same thought as you. It's crazy. It's like, it's not like we're human or anything like that.
Nothing's original on the internet.
Nothing is. But celebrate. I'll give Casey Pratt that one because you know what? He's been doing a hell of a job covering that entire con job that is John Fisher, Dave Cavell, and the Oakland Athletics, who again got the win yesterday 2-0 in the Bronx, taking on the New York Yankees. And yes, we'll get to what happened with Aaron Boone, manager of the Yankees, a little bit later in the show because it is hilarious. We'll also get to what took place at a Stone Tree Golf Course yesterday with Daryl the Guru Johnson and the first tee yesterday with the Atco Pest Control little golf tourney they were going on, their little sponsorship. And we love our friends over at Atco, not Asco, Pet Control, because we do the rat on the table. Brought to you by Atco Pest Control every single day. And the rat on the table right now.
I'm lost. I'm out.
That. And by the way, if you didn't see the tee off, the first tee from Daryl the Guru Johnson, this ceremonious first tee shot, you can find it on our Twitch and YouTube channels and go back. You can also go on the Odyssey app and just listen to it because I do think the audio is even funnier. When it's synced up, though, it is because it's on a slight delay. And Guru Steiny doing play-by-play on Guru's swing. It's all time. It's all time. So find it on YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game. Like, subscribe. You can also find me on YouTube right now. We're streaming live and local Monday through Friday right here on 95.7 The Game, 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. You can see this beautiful mug here, 5 a.m. Monday through Friday. And also hit us up on the Xfinity mobile text line. Almost said the other one. 888-957-9570 is the number. At 5:12 a.m., April 23, 2022, no, 2024. I'm all over the place this morning. I'm not going to lie. Those late night games are brutal if you get up this early. Sam knows. Bonte and Shasky knows. And I just had to watch the end of that game last night. I mean, how could you not? Nuggets, Lakers trying to get into that series and try to make it a series. And they just, for whatever reason, they psychologically cannot get over that hurdle that is the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. You can try to blame the refs. You can try to blame Darvin Ham. You can try to blame, LeBron if you want to. What kind of shot was that? A three-pointer shot. Probably wasn't the best shot selection there late, but he had been making some incredible shots all game long. And if that had gone in, add it to the list. Jamal Murray wasn't hitting water if it fell out of a boat for the first three quarters. And then the fourth, something clicks. Something clicks for the Nuggets when it's crunch time, and something unclicks for the Lakers. It's like when they're in the car, they're going down a hill very fast. They don't have brakes. Nuggets, they put their seatbelts on. They're strapping themselves in. Lakers, for some reason, they unbuckle it and they're holding on for dear life. That's the greatest analogy I could come up with for when the Nuggets and the Lakers meet each other. And in the past, 10 now? 10 straight? 9 straight? Whatever it is. It's Denver winning them. And they're up 2-0 now. They're heading to Los Angeles, and I would be very surprised if the Lakers head back to Denver with this series tied. Maybe some say different. I would love to hear it. 888-957-9570. Just an incredible night for the sport of basketball last night. And Warriors fans have got to be watching that and being like, how do we get back? How do we get back to that? And yesterday I posed the question, what's that one move? If you can make one move this offseason, what would it be? I like what the Morning Roast did because they allowed the listener to do all the moves. But I pigeonholed you. I did. And I do that from time to time because, you know what? Pressure makes diamonds. And at this hour of the day, a lot of people of you have already been up and working, getting ready for school, getting ready for a commute, whatever it is. And I appreciate you chiming in at 888-957-9570. And we do have the smartest listeners here in the Bay, so I ask more of you, the pre-gamers. Best looking, smartest. There you go. That's all you need. Nicest. I got a lot of nice listeners. People hit me up all the time. It's very nice. I think 95.7 The Game, on the whole, we have the greatest group of listeners. Now, some of you on the YouTube chat, I'd calm down a little bit, but I appreciate you. Again, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there. So watching these games, Warriors fans, the overarching sentiment is Stephen Curry needs a number 2. And who's that number 2 going to be going forward? And how do they get bigger, taller, younger, and more athletic? It sounds simple, right? Well, I think they addressed some of that youth and athleticism this past year. Pajemski, Trace Jackson-Davis, both undersized a little bit for their positions, but nonetheless, quicker, can play more minutes. Jonathan Kuminga is the guy, though. When I'm watching these series, especially the Philadelphia 76ers, a guy like Tyrese Maxey, who's going to win Most Improved Player, a guy like Jalen Brunson, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., who just turns into the greatest three-point shooter of all time when he plays the Lakers, Aaron Gordon. The Warriors desperately need to hold on to Jonathan Kuminga. And I know they don't play in the East, right? But specifically against a team like the Nuggets, and then you got the guys like a Naz Reid, you got Anthony Edwards out in Minnesota. You can just go top to bottom. You got Chet Holmgren, Oklahoma City, Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all these guys. Young, big, athletic freaks. That's what Jonathan Kuminga is. And if you move off of him for an older piece, I just don't see that being the move that gets you back into title contention. Not from what I've been watching in these NBA playoffs. So if anything, and we're going back to my one move, and what's my one thing? Shout out Earth Day. Hope you all had a lovely Earth Day as you're commuting in, and hopefully you're doing it via public transportation if you can, or carpool. But my one thing for the Warriors would be to hold on to Jonathan Kuminga at all costs. You have got to keep that guy for the short term and long term. Thought Steiny had a great point yesterday. He doesn't know if he's going to be, a consistent all-star. He doesn't even know if he could be a number 1. Probably bet he won't be. Or a star, if you will. But can he be maybe a couple-time all-star and a 10-year vet on the team? You take that right now. Because the future for Golden State for the first time in a long time is looking very murky. So much so that there was an article I saw in the group thread via Scott Osler of the San Francisco Chronicle. Why the Warriors should consider trading Stephen Curry? What? It's crazy. And I'll give Scott this. He kind of paints a picture that we've seen in the past for certain teams and certain franchises, and it's not pretty. When you're holding on to a guy, then the rest of the team is a shell of its former self. He alluded to Kobe Bryant and the Lakers there. Different situation. Kobe got hurt, tore his Achilles, and after that, he didn't really have any trade value. And you know what? It was just more value to the franchise holding on to him, if anything. But for Stephen Curry, who is still playing like a top 10 and at time top 5 player in the association, do you start to question the unthinkable? When you lose like you did against Sacramento in a play-in situation and get humbled, I don't think anything is out of the question. Now, having said that, do I think they will trade him? No. Do I think Scott Osler thinks they're going to trade Steph? No. But for the first time in a long time, I think teams are going to be calling, and the trade packages are going to start to actually be intriguing for once to Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob. 888-957-9570. Should the Warriors even contemplate moving on from Stephen Curry? Is that even a conversation that should be had and enter people's minds? Is that where we're at? Now, I don't think so. I think you give it at least, what, one more year? Like, if they go back and try to run it back after this year and they're still a playing team, or they're a playoff team and they're one and done, then I absolutely think you start to question that next offseason. Still a little too early for me, but I understand the question being thrown out there. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570. Playoff basketball should be more physical. And yes, I know Earth Day was yesterday. I was saying I hope you all had a nice Earth Day. So there you go. Although, again, I'm on 4 hours of sleep, so every day should be Earth Day. How about that? It's a hot take for you. But yeah, I agree. Playoff basketball should be more physical. The game of basketball should be more physical. But if it's going to be more physical, then let's be consistent with the calls. I think if you get hit in the face, that should still be a foul call, whether the contact is marginal or not. If you're calling on one side of the arena, call it on the other side. Call it for Joker, call it for AD, call it for LeBron. Just be consistent. I think the average viewer would like that. The average unbiased viewer. A lot of us showing our bias today. That's what we do. That's fine. I'm biased all the time. Unconsciously or consciously. We all have some. All right. We're going to take your calls and texts continuing there. I did want to pivot a little bit to what John Lynch had to say yesterday. And John Lynch speaking to the media. It's Monday yesterday. Starting off the week. NFL draft week. What will the 49ers do? Brandon Ayuk, is he really on the trade block? Have you been answering calls? Have you been fielding calls on Brandon Ayuk? All of that. John Lynch with some tremendous sound that we're going to break down here. 888-957-9570. We can continue to take your calls and texts as it pertains to the Warriors offseason, the NBA playoffs, all that. I say you got to keep Jonathan Kuminga no matter what. You cannot move that guy for what I've been watching these NBA playoffs. Just can't do it. John Lynch talking to the media yesterday. He wants Brandon Ayuk to be a Niner for life.
A couple years ago, there was a lot of talk about another receiver, Debo, and I said the same thing. But with BA, I've communicated on a couple occasions, on many occasions, our wish, and our wish is that he's here and a part of the Niners for the rest of his career. We're working through that. As such, I was a player once, and I never liked my business being out in the public, and so I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to speak for their side. I can say we're having good talks, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll focus on the draft here today.
BA, by the way, Brandon Ayuk, not Brandon Allen, for those of you who are confused. John Lynch speaking to the media yesterday ahead of the 2024 NFL draft. What are they going to do at the draft? Well, here's what John Lynch had to say about some of the quality depth at certain positions in this year's draft.
I think it's good tackles, it's good linemen, and I the interesting thing with those linemen in this draft, we think a lot of them have flexibility to be tackles and or guards, and so that's nice that you take somebody with some versatility. I think so. That's I think there are some options,
and he used the word flexibility there. Lynch was asked if they will be flexible in regards to trading up or down potentially.
I think 31 is an interesting spot. I think at the end of day one, teams are eager to go get someone. So I would imagine there'll be some calls, and we'll be open and flexible. We've done it both ways in a variety of ways and been successful doing some. And the big thing is just be prepared for every scenario. I think you have to be flexible. Human nature is to underestimate the uncertainty of a draft. And I think we try to account for that and the only way you do that is being prepared for everything.
888-957-9570. What are you looking for in this draft outside of the Brandon Ayuk situation for the 49ers to do? I mean, conventional wisdom will tell you it's probably going to be a defensive lineman, right? I feel like it is what it always is. But I think you got to address that offensive line. I think that Super Bowl, and I know it's a season and everything doesn't boil down to one game, but in this case, for the Warriors and for the Niners, it kind of did. It was eye-opening in a multitude of ways. And that offensive line on the money downs got humbled in that Super Bowl. Whether it was Feliciano, whether it was early on in the game with Trent Williams, Colton McKivitz, what have you. And you heard it from Lynch. This is a deep tackle / guard / versatility draft when it comes to offensive linemen. And I know that's not sexy. I was listening to Joe Shasky yesterday. Joe Shasky and Bonta Hill, they'll be on in the morning roast at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. They'll have thoughts on the draft, thoughts on the NBA playoffs, all of it. Oh, Giants, by the way, they won over the New York Mets. Again, New York, though, they don't care about the Mets or the Yankees yesterday. They're all in on New York and what took place. But a big win for the Giants. Keaton Wynn, by the way. Talk about underrated guys. Keeping the ship afloat, baby. Now that Alex Cobb is on the 60-day IL, keep it going, Keaton Wynn. K-Dub. Let's go. But as it pertains to the San Francisco 49ers and the versatility, Shasky yesterday was talking about he doesn't want an offensive lineman unless he's a bona fide top-of-the-class guy, not taking a first-round pick, a late first-round pick on a guy. Well, maybe in that case, as you heard from John Lynch, maybe they trade up if their guy is fallen. You never know with these boards. And we learned that with John Gruden and Mike Mayock and co. for the Raiders when it comes to guys and boards and teams valuing certain positional players, unlike the Mel Kipers and Daniel Jeremiah and their big boards. Oh, I had this guy ranked this, I had this guy ranked that. Well, you never know unless you're in that room. They have their own grades and own scouting systems that, for the outside public, may seem odd, but to them, it was their guy all along. And I do think that we have been shaped and molded by draft conversations so much and seen so many names, and particular names in the top 10, top 20, top 30, that if that particular name isn't selected there and falls, oh, we got to steal. Oh, man, this guy was projected to be a first-round pick. He had a first-round talent. Oh, so-and-so had a first-round grade on him. Oh, this is going to be a steal. And then they found out that, no, there was a reason that person was falling and that teams weren't touching him. And he wasn't very good. And vice versa, there could be a player, oh, that was a reach. Oh, we're giving this team and this GM a D- on this draft. I mean, are you kidding me? You took this guy? You took Khalil Mack out of Buffalo? Psh. I mean, he's unproven. He's maybe a top 20 pick. He's just going to be a future Hall of Famer. Stuff like that. Oh, Brandon Ayuk. I don't think a lot of people had him on their radar back when the Niners drafted him. Look at that. Speaking of Brandon Ayuk, his former coach, no, not Antonio Pierce, head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, but Herm Edwards, who was the head coach at ASU, and Antonio Pierce was on his staff. He joined Mark Willard and Dan Dibley yesterday, and I want to hear from Coach Herm Edwards, Monterey High School Zone. Let's go, Herm. Monterey legend. We'll do that on the other side, plus more of your calls, more of your texts. Giants get another big win over the New York Mets. They bounce back from their loss on Sunday against the D-backs in that split, hoping to take that series today. Just take it. Start stacking some series wins, not just splits. Also, more of your calls and texts on the NBA playoffs and what the Warriors need to do in the offseason. It's all coming up next on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness.
unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
He's addressing the ball. He takes a swing. I don't see what happened. We're on delay. Oh boy.
Oh, Matt Steinmetz on the call. Steiny and Guru yesterday. Daryl the Guru Johnson doing the ceremonious, maybe I should say unceremonious tee shot for the Atco Pest Control golf tourney at Stone Tree Golf Course. Oh, Goo. He chunked it. It's happened to all of us. You've chunked it. You've topped it. And I contend this, and I texted Goo this, and I told him this yesterday. There is nothing more intimidating than a first tee surrounded by a bunch of people and going up there and swinging, whether it's a drive, whether it's you're using an iron, doesn't matter. That first drive off the first tee, whether it's at the clubhouse, whether it's in front of a bunch of randos that you're playing with, you're in a foursome and there's three people you don't know, doesn't matter. Hell, it could be with your family and friends. That first tee is frightening. Frightening. So it's okay, Goo. I get it. Wow. What are you bringing me, bud?
Is it on YouTube?
It is on YouTube. We're here. Let me.
It's tough to see. I cut it into squares for everybody.
There we go.
There's the lasagna.
That's Joe Shasky dropping off me some lasagna.
It's not just for you. It's for everyone.
No. I think I deserve this after what happened last night. I deserve this. I can eat this whole thing right now. How does he miss that shot? I don't know, Joe Shasky.
You got to take it.
He's an Italian.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'll put this outside.
Thank you.
That's so good.
That's Joe Shasky, ladies and gentlemen. And he could contend to this because we're talking about Guru's tee shot. Hardest thing in sports. Teeing off in front of a bunch of people. Hop on here. Come on, Joe. Do a makeshift cross Jover. You're a golfer. You get it. No matter how much you've played, whether you've played your whole life, you're just getting started, teeing off on the first tee is intimidating.
Well, it absolutely is. There's no question about it.
I'd say it's more intimidating than a penalty kick or free throw because you have all these random people that are going to be judging you and looking at you. And not that they're laughing or anything like that, but, well, some might after yesterday's. He chunked it, and we've all happened. The worst thing you can do is chunk it or top it. And it's so just humbling, like, oh, I suck.
One time, my brother and I, we decided to join this group of tournaments and went out to Dublin Ranch. I don't even know if Dublin Ranch is still a golf course out there. It's in the middle of nowhere. Funky little
layout. Not in Dublin? Is it in Dublin?
Dublin, Pleasanton?
Yeah, I think it's still
not
out
like
there.
Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't fly to Dublin, Ireland.
It's probably good golf courses out there.
And so, we were get all the emotions, the anxiety. And first tee, there's 50 people we don't know. Now, I think it's worse when you know everyone, okay? That's when I think it's worse because you'll get roasted for days. My brother tops one, and it goes, like Guru's, 5, 6 feet, And they're like, he's line one, hitting 2. This is a tournament.
Oh, no.
I think he got a 9 or a 10 on
They
that
don't
first
even,
hole.
it's a tournament, so they're not going to give you a mulligan.
Not at all. And it was legit, and it ruined his entire day, and I felt so bad for him.
Real quick, one more time. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Daryl the Guru Johnson, ceremonious opening tee shot yesterday at the Atco Pest Control Golf Tournament out at Stone Tree Golf Course. Take a listen.
He's addressing the ball. He takes a swing. I don't see what happened. We're on delay. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Steiny's oh boy in play-by-play call. First at the knockout tourney and then yesterday.
And can I just say,
all time.
Can I just say something about Steiny? No one wins more when Goo loses than Steiny.
Oh, it's not even
Steiny
close.
without participating constantly wins. And it's almost
It's
like
Skip Bayless versus LeBron James, and it's easy for Skip.
Exactly.
Right? That's exactly
I'm
what it is.
caping up for Guru here. Steiny, put your money where your mouth is. Why didn't you hit a shot?
There you go.
No,
Oh.
I'm dead serious. You know, Steiny wants to, I shot a 91 at this course. 87 here. Let's see it, dog.
The hip is still recovering, Shasky.
I
hip
don't want to hear
surgery.
that.
Come on, man.
I got really bad sunburn yesterday.
Oh, you did?
On
You
the
don't-
legs.
Oh, I was going to say, it doesn't look like it on your face.
On
Look
the
like you
legs,
did.
like really bad. And I put
You're getting older,
sunscreen on.
buddy. You got to put that sunscreen on. The
Thanks,
SPF.
Coach.
Come
Thanks,
on.
Coach. I went from the fog to the unbelievable desert out in the middle of Novato on 37.
The best, though, is when you're coming back, and I always love
Oh,
this.
the air
playing out.
conditioning?
Oh, it's the built-in
100%.
natural air conditioning. We used to do that all the time growing up, playing out in Carmel Valley and coming back to PG. It was the best.
Nothing is more frustrating to me than you're playing a tight course in a scramble, because a scramble forces you hit it as far as you can. Hit it.
Yes.
Oh, you hit it close? Hit it closer. Like,
playing with your dad or pops or something like that. And they're telling you, he's like, I can't reach it as that far. Yeah.
like,
yeah.
and to me, in a scramble, there's no feel or rhythm. And I'm not trying to like cape up for anyone, but like when you play your own ball, you play your own game.
Correct.
And I think that when you play in a scramble, you don't play your own
No,
game.
everyone thinks they're Bryson DeChambeau.
Exactly.
And then you're just trying to just grip it and rip it.
Ethan's not bad. Like, Ethan can play. You know, we
Okay.
got to get him fitted for a driver, but other than that,
Oh, is
Ethan
that
can
who you
play.
played yesterday?
Yeah,
In sales?
Ethan can
Nice.
play.
There
Yeah,
you go.
underrated. Very good. Matt Hegan hit some shots yesterday.
Okay.
But we were carried by Tom, who straight sandbagger. This is Kieran's husband. Oh, I've only played 3 times this year. Yeah, okay. Big
Where
cap
were they?
on that.
Pebble Beach, Cypress?
Exactly.
Yes.
The guy played 3 times this week. I don't even want to hear it. I'm calling him Big Smooth by the end of the day.
Oh, Big Smooth, who calls in out of Oakland every single day on Steiny and Goo. There you go.
I don't even know
Yeah,
that.
Big Smooth. There you go. That's Joe Shasky. Get out of here, Joe. I've already taken up enough of your time. He's going to be on with Bonte Hill here in about 20 minutes. He'll have some thoughts on Guru's swing. I'm sure Bonte Hill will as well. Also, the NBA playoffs. Just an incredible night for the NBA. Just crazy games. And if you missed any of it, here you go. Relive some of the shots yesterday. First, Dante Trivincenzo.
8 on the 24. DiVincenzo, corner to Brunson. Sidestep, three-pointer. Shot. It's good! Took the bounce and went in. 2-point game. Ball knocked loose. And Maxey gets knocked down. Hart takes it away. Out top to DiVincenzo. His shot won't go. Hartenstein the rebound. Hartenstein gets it out to Anunoby. DiVincenzo a 3. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds remaining.
Mike Breen on the call, MSG Networks. And then the one that ended it last night. You're seeing them all over your television screens everywhere. I'm seeing them right now. Started off 3 for 16, first 3 quarters, finished 6 of 8 in the fourth with 14. Was a team high plus 12 and hit the shot that put the Nuggets up 2-0 over the Lakers.
Murray makes a move. The Nuggets have won!
Kevin Harlan on the call, TNT. Lakers had 3 losses all year long when having a lead heading into the fourth quarter. They just didn't lose if they had a lead heading into the fourth. They've lost 2 of them now in the playoffs against the Nuggets. Go back to the drawing board, I guess. Darvin Ham, D'Angelo Russell. What a great game last night. He did. Like, you squander an opportunity and you have a game like LeBron did late in that game, like Anthony Davis had, like D'Angelo Russell had. You're going to start questioning everything. And I think the Lakers have been doing that now after losing 50 straight, it feels like, to the Denver Nuggets. More of this on the other side as we put a bow on the pregame show and hand it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky in the morning roast. More of your calls, more of your texts, more reaction from John Lynch and his media presser yesterday, plus what TJ Hushmanzada, former NFL wide receiver and Pro Bowler, had to say. I think he was an All-Pro at 1 year, at one point too. Raider legend as well. And also what Herm Edwards, Forks Up, Monterey High legend, had to say about Brandon Ayuk's contract as well. It's all coming up next. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni.
Made to shine. Real stories from Shane Company customers.
The other day, my dad asked me and my sister if we had any ideas.
Lakers.
Thanks, Tim. And Robin laughing and Bondo. Well, I'm not happy, not miserable, but if you've been watching basketball, like all you smart listeners have been watching, I think I still have 2 screens up. That's all right. Turn it off here in a second. But if you've just been watching the Lakers versus the Nuggets the last, 2 years, you just wouldn't know that that ending was not surprising, I should say. It just wasn't. They were up 20 in the third, and I still thought the Lakers were losing that game. Again, psychological. The Nuggets own the Lakers. They do. And I wonder if last night the rooting interest for most of America was not really the Nuggets to win. It was more so the Lakers to lose in heartbreaking fashion. I think that's probably what it was. But it's fine. That's what we do, sports fans. You don't want to see the evil empire lose. LeBron James, he's done enough winning. Let's let Jokic and Murray and all these plucky players. Oh, not plucky. Jokic is future Hall of Famer. He's already a Hall of Famer. His career ended today. Jamal Murray, if they go back-to-back, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Mike Malone, he already got a ring. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. But something about the physicality now and the officiating is being called out by some of the players. You heard it from LeBron last night, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid. I mean, for every great come from behind win, there's going to be another team that's complaining about foul calls, complaining about the referees. I just didn't come away from either of those games, Knicks, Sixers, Lakers, Nuggets, thinking about the refs. Were there missed calls? Sure. There also missed shots, missed opportunities. How about don't blow a 20-point lead? That's not all in the refs. Could be part of it, but not the whole story. All right, back to football. 888-957-9570. John Lynch, NFL Draft Week. A lot to say. Here's what he had to say in regards to communication with Ayuk and emojis. This is interesting.
You guys communicated, did you use emojis or words?
There you go. The first question. We communicate well, and we love the guy. So thank you.
Doesn't deny the use of emojis. I don't think John Lynch is a big emoji guy. I think Kyle Shanahan sneakily is. What do you think his favorite emoji is, Kyle Shanahan? 888-957-9570. I'm sure the text line can come up with some good stuff. Is it the face palm? He likes to rub his face a lot. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of something like the angry face. And maybe the lobster. He's kind of slowly turning into his dad, who I call the lobster all the time, Mike Shanahan, because he was always so red. Kyle slowly, whenever there's a turnover or an interception, he slowly starts morphing into his father, Mike Shanahan. So that's not a bad one. But they're communicating. John Lynch, Brandon Ayuk, they've been in talks. Him and his team. Hey, John, have teams been calling about Brandon Ayuk?
Sure. We receive calls about a lot of players. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area, asking Lynch if San Francisco has given Ayuk permission to seek a trade.
Given permission to his side to go.
I'm not going to get in all those details. We're really focused on BA being part of us. He's under contract, and we're looking forward to that.
Okay, pretty definitive. Seemed like a no to me. Shout out Randy Jackson. It's a no for me, dog. This is the one though, because in the past, and Bonta and Shasky were alluding to it yesterday, and a lot of the shows have been. In the past, the Niners have had dealings like this. You can look at Deebo Samuel, you look at Nick Bosa last year, you look at all these deals that needed to get done and got done later rather than sooner. Now, John Lynch has spoken in the past and would like to have the opposite of that and get it done as quickly as possible, But it's not always like that. It takes two to tango. And here's Lynch discussing the timeline of past deals.
I think that's important. I think there is, human nature is that deadlines force these things. But, I think you can always learn from situations, and you'd be a fool not to. I'd like to have our business tidied up at a little, those things, they ran the course they needed to. And I'm proud of our record of getting the guys we want to get done. But I'm right there with everyone else. I'd sure like it to happen sooner.
My money is this happens sometime in the summer. I don't think Brandon Ayuk's going anywhere. I don't think he gets traded. Would I be shocked if it happened? 30% shocked. That's still a little bit, because just judging from what we've seen from Lynch in the past and Shanahan, they like to keep their guys. I think they learned from the DeForest Buckner debacle and moving off of him and trying to replace him with Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw, not on the team anymore. That didn't work out. Right? So very interested to see how all this plays out. And if there is a deal, it would happen on draft night. Which again, give me the jingle. Come on. Give it to me. Where are we at? My board's all over the place. It's all right. There it is. Thursday. God, there's something about that jingle. From all the drafts, whether it's Major League Baseball, who never gets it right. I don't even know. I don't even learn of the MLB draft until the day of, and it's a little different because you might get a first rounder that never even plays in the big leagues. NBA draft, for the most part, we know pretty much with certain guys that are going to be good that, maybe there's one here or there, like the Luka, the Kings one, and they take Marvin Bagley III, all that. There's some here and there. But no one comes close to touching the NFL draft when it comes to the theatrics, when it comes to the breakdowns, when it comes to the different coverage. Like, I want to be cycling through Kuiper, Daniel Jeremiah, Pat McAfee has Bill Belichick, Nick Saban. Is he going to be part of ESPN's coverage? Like, I can't wait for all of that. I want to hear from all the head coaches. I want to hear from all the college coaches, everyone. I want to hear everything about this. I am locked in, baby, all throughout NFL draft night, and we will be too. 6 to 10 right here on 95.7 The Game. Evan Giddings, Mark Grandy, Sterling Bennett, breaking it all down. First round coverage of the NFL draft this Thursday. So we will be here live and local on your airwaves. No place you'd rather be talking 49ers than right here on 95.7 The Game. And talking with Herm Edwards, former head coach of Brandon Ayuk at Arizona State, on with Willard and Dibbs yesterday, talking about this process and Ayuk needing to know he's not a free agent just yet.
He has to realize that, he's not a free agent. He has another year on his contract. So it's not like we can go into free agency. 49ers aren't going to trade him at this point. It doesn't look like it. And I think he wants to be a 49er, and hopefully it gets done.
More from Herm here, talking about the ugliness of contract talks.
I think both parties realize they need each other, and it'll get done. It'll be ugly at times, but I think at the end he'll be a 49er. That's
Herm Edwards. Again, Monterey High School legend, the Toreadors, the mascot there down in Monterey. TJ Houshmandzadeh, another former All-Pro wide receiver. By the way, whenever I would see Houshmandzadeh jerseys, it would just make me smile. The ridiculousness, should I Rob Deerdeck, of that last name on a jersey. It's like Saltalamacchia. It's just, how does that even fit on there? Houshmandzadeh is one of them, and it's just a fun name to say. Here's TJ on yesterday, Willard and Dibbs, talking about Brandon Ayuk's argument for wanting a contract extension right now.
Yeah, he's 31st in the league in catches because he doesn't get as many targets as other guys. And so he can say, if you give me the targets that Justin Jefferson gets, I wouldn't be 31st in the league. And so you can counter that. I'm 31st in the league, but am I 31st in the league in yards? So just imagine if I had more catches, what I would do with it. And so there's always counter arguments to whatever they're going to argue.
888-957-9570. Is this much ado about nothing in regards to Brandon Ayuk and his future with the San Francisco 49ers. It doesn't matter that he stays a 49er throughout his tenure. You know, often in basketball and football and baseball, but particularly in football, it's kind of just known at some point it's going to be hard for a guy to stick with one franchise the entire time. Now, the 49ers, I think, have gotten a little spoiled with some Hall of Fame talent as of late. Joe Staley, Patrick Willis. I know Frank Gore wasn't a Niner lifer. I know Navarro Bowman got injured, wasn't a Niner lifer. Trent Williams, obviously not one, but he feels at the end of it more like a Niner than a Washington Commander. Excuse me. So they've gotten spoiled. But if you were to tell me that Ayuk was going to be a 49er lifer, I'd say you're on crack. Deebo Samuel? No. George Kittle? It just doesn't happen anymore. Do I think Brock Purdy's going to be a Niner for life? No, I do not. 888-957-9570. Am I going to be a roaster for life, though? Absolutely. Bonta Hill, Joe Shasky next. 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, with great deals on trucks that work hard, play hard, and break every rule on what a truck should be. Right now, qualified commercial customers get $3,500 total bonus cash allowance on the 2024 Ram, $2,500 and $3,500 Tradesman Crew Cab. Don't miss Ram Truck Month.